Squatters are illegally taking over homes in America, and the cops are powerless to stop it. Hi, I'm Kevin Grolig. I'm a real estate agent with Compass, located in Potomac, Maryland. Thanks once again for checking out the latest video in my series, Real Cabin. Today, we're hearing about it all the time. People are losing their homes as trespassers move in, change the locks, and stay there 6 to 12 months before legally getting kicked out. There's a recent case in New York City where the homeowner was arrested for changing the locks on alleged squatters. Check out this footage.
Shouldn't be trying to steal my house. Yes, you are.
There's a man sleeping right there.
Get out of my house.
She found two men.
How long have you lived here?
I moved in about 2 days ago.
They've called the police on me, and I've called the locksmith.
Police started interviewing neighbors and looking for documents. They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs.
This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
Minutes later, a locksmith showed up, but police gave her a warning. Less than 10 minutes after police left, and the locks were changed. A man who claims to be the one actually leasing the house shows up.
Call the police again.
With the other guy, police took off the property.
Do you see this?
Literally broke down my door.
And so did you. You broke through the front door.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Technically, he can't be kicked out. We need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue.
I don't own it.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how the law works.
I do know how it
There's-
works.
There's rules to the.
Show us the proof.
He didn't show me a lease.
This is a bill.
A bill for work he says he had done to the house.
Police department doesn't have the lease?
No.
He's got no documentation.
Just bills.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
Being arrested
For what?
for being in my own home.
Arrested for unlawful eviction.
Also, you may have heard about another squatter situation in a mansion in LA, just 2 homes away from a home that LeBron James is currently building.
By air and on the ground, an army of LAPD officers swarmed a mansion overlooking Beverly Hills following some type of emergency call.
Are you one of the squatters? Are you one of the squatters in the house?
Absolutely not. I don't know anyone here. I don't know anything. Please leave me alone.
Neighbors in the exclusive community say squatters have taken over the property located along Beverly Grove Place in Beverly Crest. NBA superstar LeBron James is building a home just 2 doors down. Intruders, criminals, who throw countless wild all-night parties at the mansion.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. These stories are crazy. All these recent news events have got me thinking about the origination of squatters and squatter laws. And I was amazed to find out that all 50 states have squatter laws on the books. Historically, squatter laws emerged in the 17 and 1800s during westward expansion. Many travelers, while traveling westward, would find empty land where there was no owner present or possibly no owner at all. Many of these settlers would build a house and start farming the land. And of course, eventually some of these people would want to claim legal rights to the property. The Homestead Act of 1862, signed by President Abraham Lincoln, granted Americans a legal way to occupy unclaimed land. This act would grant Americans 160-acre plots of public land for the price of a small filing fee. Caveat to this was you had to be at least 21 years old. There was a 5-year commitment to build a home and farm the land. After the 5-year period, the person could file a request for deed to the property. The Homestead Act was one of the most important pieces of legislation, which led to westward expansion and allowed citizens of all walks of life, including the formerly enslaved, women, and immigrants, to become landowners. Now let's talk a little bit about squatter laws in Maryland and how they compare to the other states. In Maryland, a squatter must inhabit your property or land for 20 years in order to invoke squatter's rights and file a claim for adverse possession. Now let's compare Maryland's laws to that of other states. Each state has its own laws governing squatters' rights, which can vary in terms of notice requirements, eviction processes, and legal protections for property owners. California has some of the most lenient squatter laws in the country. A squatter may be able to obtain legal ownership in California after only 5 years of possession. Which state do you think has the strictest squatter laws? This might surprise you. New Jersey actually has the strictest squatter laws at 30 years of possession. Now let's talk a little bit about today's situation when it comes to squatters. We're definitely not talking about westward expansion in hopes of a better life. Typically, we're also not looking at people who are looking at taking over ownership of a home through adverse possession. To use the word squatters today is probably being very generous. We're really talking about trespassers or frankly criminals. These people typically inhabit a vacant home, change the locks, and prepare a phony lease. More often, unless they vacate voluntarily, they're going to be there 6 to 12 months until legally kicked out. The word voluntary is really the key word here. If they're willing to leave voluntarily, that's the best case scenario. However, if they do not leave voluntarily, there's not a jurisdiction in Maryland or any part of the country where you can just simply call up the cops and expect that they're going to come over and force them out of the house. The process for removing squatters involves many specific steps, starting with a property inspection to confirm the presence of unauthorized occupants. Once squatters are identified, legal notices are issued. And if squatters still do not leave voluntarily, the owner or property manager moves to the next step of filing a lawsuit and seeking a court order for eviction. The presence of a sheriff also may be required to enforce the court order and ensure the squatter's removal is executed lawfully. So, which homeowners are at the greatest risk? The answer is anyone with a vacant home is at the greatest risk for squatters. This especially includes vacant or second homes, as well as homes on the market for rent and for sale. Here are 6 things you can do to protect your vacant home from squatters. Number 1, put up a no trespassing sign on vacant properties. This makes a clear legal statement that gives law enforcement the authority to detain and remove anyone who does not belong there. Number 2, of course, you want to make sure that all your doors and windows are securely locked. Number 3, I would recommend some type of Ring camera device as well as an alarm system. Number 4, install motion detector lighting on the exterior. Number 5, and this one's old school, make sure your neighbors know that your home is vacant and make sure that they contact you if they see any strange occurrences. Number 6, make friends with law enforcement and make sure that they know that your property is vacant and where it's located. I think we can see that the original squatter laws that are on the books were made at a time when there was a lot of unoccupied and unclaimed land, and the spirit of the laws were there were going to be improvements made to the land. However, that's not the spirit of the squatters we're seeing today in America. By and large, most of these people are taking advantage of legal loopholes to live somewhere rent-free from 6 to 12 months. Well, that's what I have for you today. So what do you think about the squatting epidemic? What do you think the reasons are for this? Or do you think this is something that's blown out of proportion? Either way, I'd love to hear from you. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you live outside of Montgomery County and you're thinking about relocating to the area and you'd be interested in a free Montgomery County relocation guide, click on the link in the description box below. Or if you'd like more specific information about Montgomery County and the surrounding DMV, you can always hit me up direct by text at 240-793-7495. See you next week.